Floor is yours.
Thank you, Bryant. Thank you for joining us today. We are hosting the Forest Preserve District of Cook County Restroom Rehabilitation District-wide Bussy Woods and Dan Ryan Woods Project, C1615 Pre-Bid and Technical Review Meeting. My name is Patricia Montenegro, the contract officer over the project, and we will begin with introductions, followed by procurement details, compliance details, and then the technical review aspect of the meeting. So at this time, we will begin with the introductions of our PBC team members, and I will start calling them off as I see them on my screen. Bryant.
I'm sorry, Brian Payne, PVC Communications.
Okay, Ray Gitteroff.
Good morning. Thank you, Patty. Ray Gitteroff, Public Billing Commission.
Randy Williams.
Good morning, everyone. Randy Williams, Public Building Commission, Deputy Director of Construction.
Thank you. James.
Morning, everyone. James Borkman, PBC Procurement.
Kenneth.
I'm in, so go ahead, you can.
Good morning, everyone. Kenneth Dillard. I'm with the PBC Project Manager.
Patrice Doyle.
Good morning, Patrice Doyle, PBC Compliance.
Lisa.
Good morning, Lisa Gitteroff, PBC Controls.
And I have Minnie.
Good morning, Minnie Keys, PBC Procurement.
And then I don't see anyone else from the PBC team. Is there anyone else from the PBC team that I did not mention? Okay. At this time, I'll turn it over to our partners at the Forest Preserve District of Cook County. We have Chris. Chris, please introduce yourself.
I think Chris just jumped off, but
okay. Lori?
Okay. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Lori Naiman, Chief Building Architect with the Planning and Development Department at the Forest Preserves.
Thank you. And then can you introduce your team, please?
Sure. I did. Sorry, technical difficulties this morning. We have Maria Larkin also joining us, Building Architect with the Forest Preserves.
Very good. Thank you, Lori and Maria. We then have our architect who is also joining us, the SMNGA team. Please introduce yourself. Todd or Lucia?
Hello, I'm Todd Nemec, Principal with SMNGA Architects. I'm joined by the project architects Lucia Lee and Rafal Stavash.
Thank you. Todd, are any of the consultants on the call?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. All right, and then we have some general contractors that have joined. If you could also please put your name and company name in the chat so we know that you are present here today. But I will start reading off names as I see them here. Blinderman, Brent, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, Brent Spolstra, Blinderman Construction, Director of Pre-Construction.
Thank you. I see a Jeremiah.
Morning, Jeremiah from D-Liner Services.
Thank you. I see Declan.
Declan with roping.
Thank you. I see Chase.
Chase with Eco Lighting.
Okay, thank you. Elise.
Hi, Elise Altschuler with Viper Construction.
Thank you. I see a Christian Aguayo.
Christian Aguayo with Alpha Chicago Inc.
Thank you. Dave. Dave Downey Garfield is all I see on the screen. Okay, and then I believe those are all the names that I see registered. I see Cal has joined us. Cal, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, Cal June, Director of Planning and Design. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, I'll move forward with the remainder of the agenda here. So procurement details, the project overview, project locations, the two main areas that we will focus on are Bussy Woods and Dan Ryan Woods. And the project management team will go into detail with regards to the specific locations later on in this presentation. And then we have the general scope of work, which consists of the renovations of 12 existing restrooms, both Bussy Woods and Dan Ryan's, and then proposed renovation scope, which would include re-roofing, providing barrier-free access, new doors, lighting, flooring, and the replacement of any non-functioning or damaged elements. There's going to be cosmetic upgrades at select restroom facilities that may include the replacement of existing dividing CMU walls with new toilet partitions, new finishes, and all new fixtures and accessories. Potable water will also be provided through UV water treatment at 4 facilities within Bussy Woods. The time of completion, substantial completion must be achieved no later than May 21st, 2025. There are 2 schedule milestones with descriptions as noted on the screen and found in Book 1. The first is schedule milestone number 1 with a milestone date of January 31st, 2025 and a start no sooner than December 12th, 2024 date. Then there's the substantial completion milestone, which has the August substantial completion date of May 21st, 2025 with a start no sooner than January 31st, 2025. There are liquidated damages noted also for $1,500 per day for failure to achieve the substantial completion and $500 per day for failure to achieve the schedule milestone. The availability of the documents are available on the PBC current opportunities page for the project, as well as with our designated printer, Aloha Print Group, which is available on their plan room. And if you have any, issues accessing the document or any subsequent addenda, if any are issued, please feel free to contact Virginia directly. The availability of the documents are also with our assist agencies, and there is a link to where we have this list posted so that if you wanted to hone in into specific details of their contact information, it is available on our website. This PowerPoint presentation will also be available on our current opportunities page listed here. The technical review meeting is scheduled shortly here after this meeting. There is no specific site visit coordinated for this project, but the site is obviously open to the public. And so failure of the bidders to become familiar with the project shall not relieve you from your responsibility of completing the work as required in the contract documents. Any requests for information, please submit in writing via email to the sole point of contact myself, Patricia.Montenegro at cityofchicago.org. There is a current deadline of Tuesday, November 12th by 4 p.m. I'd kindly ask that they be submitted in advance of and not right at, but appreciate that. And at this time, there have been no addenda issued to date. Bids are due on Friday, November 22nd at 11 a.m. The bid opening will be streamed live. It will be recorded and available on our website for viewing on PBC's homepage and on the current opportunities page for this project. Bid submission requirements. We ask that one complete set of documents or one complete set of the bid document be submitted to our attention with original signatures. Blue ink or digital signature is acceptable. Include your bid bond and include the master bid tab with the award criteria sheets in Excel and PDF format separately within the email. So I'd like to kind of focus on this little request here. When you're submitting your email, please ensure that it's one email that contains the bid document along with just the master bid form and award criteria in a separate file in Excel and PDF format. And then they're to be emailed to both emails listed on the screen, pbc-procurement@cityofchicago.org and patricia.montenegro@cityofchicago.org. If you're unable to submit electronically, we're going to request that you submit an email to our attention describing your specific needs for hard copy submission for our review and approval. The pre-award meeting is currently scheduled for Monday, November 25th at 11 a.m. The apparent low bidder will receive correspondence and an invitation from the contract officer requesting your attendance at the pre-award meeting. The anticipated schedule here for the release of the notice of award is scheduled for December 2024, following the PBC Board of Commissioners meeting. And then the successful general contractor will be required to provide a compliant certificate of insurance and payment and performance bond within 7 days of NOA issuance. A few highlights within the IFB document. The estimated construction budget is found in book 1, page 4, and that's $2.8 million to $3.2 million. Mandatory project staffing requirements found on book 1, page 5. Scheduling software requirements, book 1, page 6. Again, liquidated damages, book 1, page 6. Prevailing wage rates, book 1, page 6 and page 39. And contractor trade requirements, if applicable, book 1, page 21. So just wanted to highlight with our Forest Preserve District projects, this is something new to those who are familiar with bidding. So we want to make sure that you refer to page 21 and if applicable to this project, just read the requirements and let us know if you have any questions at that time. Thank you. Joint venture opportunities. Again, PBC encourages joint venture partnerships so that if you are intending on joint venturing for this project, we ask that you provide a joint venture affidavit. We also ask that you submit your joint venture agreement and that you provide a certification letter if your firm is an MBE WBE firm. The JV agreement can be submitted in draft form, but by the time we award the project, it must be finalized. The bid form. So on the bid form, we've submitted or we've provided an electronic Excel bid form so that you are able to just populate your numbers within the lines or the fields shown here on the screen. So your base work amount will be entered in this lightly purple shaded area. And then your figures for the alternate 1 and alternate 2 numbers will be inserted into the light green areas here. And then, Excel will populate everything else for you automatically. So you'll see these numbers changing within the Excel document. Please ensure that the bid form has surety information in the areas provided for this information, and that you also indicate your name and the date that it's submitted. The award criteria figure, also part of that bid form document, separate tabs. So in this instance, you will have an award criteria that is based off of your base work only. And then you'll have an award criteria that's based off of the base plus alternate 1. Then there's the scenario for a base plus alternate 2. And then the last scenario would be a base plus alternates 1 and 2. Okay, so the basis of the award is going to be based on the lowest award criteria figure for the project. And firms are required to fill out the entire bid form to be considered responsive. We reserve the right to reject any and all bids wherever such rejection is in the best interest of the commission, and bids that are considered to be materially unbalanced will be rejected. There is a section within the IFB document, page 12 and 16 here, that speaks to alternates, and specifically on page 16, we're going to ask that you put your dollar value within the space provided on page 16 under the alternate section for each alternate. Okay, at this time, I'll turn it over to Patrice, who will go over the compliance details. Patrice?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So for this project, the MBE and WBE goals are 26% MBE and 6% WBE. We only accept certifications from City of Chicago or Cook County, and they must be certified in the scope of work that you're receiving an MBE and or WBE credit for. Additional information can be found in Book 2, Article 23, which is our MBE WBE special conditions. Again, the only certifications that we accept are from City of Chicago and or Cook County. The maximum for the award criteria is 70% minority journey workers, 70% minority apprentice, 70% minority labor, maximum 15% female journey workers, 15% female apprentice, and 15% female laborers. With the alternates on the award criteria, they do not have to all be the same. If you feel the need to adjust your minority journey worker, apprentice, and labor percentages, or your female journey worker, apprentice, and labor percentages, you can per alternate award criteria form, or you can keep them the same. That is a business decision. So for the community hiring goal, at least 7.5 of the labor hours performed by community residents. There is an asterisk. There's 2 locations for this project, Bussy Woods and Dan Ryan Woods. So the 7.5% community hours will be based on Dan Ryan Woods work only. So that scope of work that you're performing at the Dan Ryan Woods location. The 7.5 hours will reflect that goal. For the minority and the female, that's the total hours worked on the project. For the city residency, the goal is 50%, at least 50% must be performed by the residents of City of Chicago. And that's also based on the total hours worked on the project. So again, when you're deciding on the award criteria figure, the minority journey workers, apprentice and laborers, female journey workers, apprentice and laborers, and City of Chicago residency, those percentages are based on the total hours worked on the project. For the community hiring goal, the 7.5% is solely based on the scope of work performed at Dan Ryan Woods. And this is the community area map for the Dan Ryan Woods. So that 7.5 hours the work is being performed at that location. These are the community areas per the map. Our payment tracking system is B2G now, and we monitor our MBE and WBE compliance. Established businesses that are MBE or WBE receive the credit that is identified on their certification letter from the City of Chicago and or Cook County. So if it's their first year of being an established business, they'll receive 75% credit. Second year, it's 50%. Third year is 25%. And then if they've graduated, then it's 0%. Manufacturers receive 100% credit. Suppliers receive 60% credit of the contract value, and brokers are 0% credit. Please submit a Schedule D as well as a Schedule C for your MBE and WBE firms. The Schedule C should be completed by the firm that is submitting the bid. And this is where the credit amount will appear. So again, for established businesses, is they're only receiving 75% credit for their participation, then that 75% amount would appear on here. If you are submitting a MBE or WBE firm that is a supplier, then only 60% of the credit amount will appear on the Schedule D. And again, this form should be completed by the firm that is submitting the bid. The Schedule C should be completed by the MBE or WBE contractor, and this is where the 100% contract value would appear. For instance, if it is a supplier and their contract amount is 100,000, 100,000 should appear on the Schedule C, and 60,000 will appear on the Schedule D. This form should be completed by the subcontractor. On page 2, that highlighted section, the percentages. If they are subcontracting any work, not supplies, but any work that is being performed by a non-MBE or WBE, or if they're subcontracting any work to an MBE or WBE, please put those percentages there. If they are not subcontracting any work being performed by a subcontractor, then that section would be 0, but the section must be completed. Thank you. Back to you, Patty.
Thank you, Patrice. So again, sole point of contact, any questions, please submit them to my attention at patricia.montenegro@cityofchicago.org. And at this time, we will turn it over to our project manager, Kenneth Dillard, who will introduce the team. Kenneth?
So, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Patty and Patricia. Just a brief scope overview. The project consists of 12 existing restrooms that are being renovated for use by the patron public. They are located at Bussy Woods and Dan Ryan Woods. The scope of work consists of re-roofing, new doors, lighting, flooring, and replacing of all non-functional and damaged elements. There are some cosmetic upgrades, which consist of replacement of the existing CMU walls with new toilet partitions, new finishes, and all new fixtures and accessories. Potable water will also be provided through UV water treatment at 4 facilities in the Bussey Woods. And I just want to reiterate the aforementioned time of completion schedule. We have 2 target dates with the milestone 1 of permitting, mobilization, site control, and submittal preparation, being that date, January 31st of 2025, start no sooner than December 12th of 2024, and the substantial completion date, which consists of the restroom renovations at Bussey Woods and the Dan Ryan Woods and all associated site improvements. That date is May 21st of 2025, and the start no sooner than January 31st of 2025. And I will turn it over to our design partners, SMNGA Group.
Yeah, thank you, Kenneth. I also would like to point out Tanisha Pointer from Brook Architect. They are the design architects on this project. So this first slide just lists all the 14 locations, which includes the 2 ad alternates in Bussey Woods. I just wanted to point out that our drawings are organized in this way, where the Dan Ryan Woods are in the G series, where the Bussey Forest Central Grove Bussies are in the H series. Go to the next slide. Highlighted in red are the ad alternates, and underlined and bolded are the locations with the potable water treatment system. This is just a map that shows how the different buildings are spread out throughout the forest preserve. Similarly, this is Dan Ryan's forest, and as you can see, there are these blue X's. This scope of work is described in our G6 series. It's a water fountain removal scope. So the currently existing conditions, the bathrooms have 5 to 9 stalls. The construction is masonry construction with CMU walls. Most bathrooms are unheated and winterized during the winter. Regarding the utilities, Bussey Woods, they are connected to sewage, but the water is sourced from wells, so there is grinder pumps that need to be fixed. Dan Ryan Woods, it has both municipal water and waste systems. And just as a background, the Bussey Wood rooms were originally built in the 80s and last renovated in 2006. And Dan Ryan Woods restrooms were originally built in the 60s and last renovated in 2007. So the construction includes the cosmetic upgrades that Kenneth mentioned. This includes the ADA accessibility corrections, masonry restoration, new lighting, new flooring, and new plumbing fixtures. If you look through the drawings, there are locations that only replace the urinals, and then the majority of the locations replace the water closets, urinals, and sinks. And again, majority of the locations will be removing the dividing partition walls between and replace it with toilet partitions. And 4 Bussey Woods locations will have water treatment, as well as some grinder pumps. So again, there are 12 locations in the base bid with 2 ad alternates. Something to keep in mind is that the Bussey Woods, they will be going through a civil engineering project called North Pavement Project. So there needs to be some coordination on that. Because of the goal of finishing before Memorial Day weekend, we noted that the buildings are unheated. So there needs to be coordination with that. There's no secure storage for contractors available on site. And then as a general demo scope, all stainless steel fixtures and hand dryers will be delivered to the forest preserve. That note is in all locations in the demo scope. And we listed some preliminary list of potential long lead items. Doors, toilet partitions, grinder pump components, water treatment components, as well as temperature sensitive items such as the finishes, paint, sealants, coatings, masonry restoration work, concrete work, and re-roofing work.
Okay, thank you, Lucia. So at this time, we'll open it up for general questions. As a reminder, any questions, we will try to, answer within this time frame here, but we always kindly request that you submit in writing, and anything that is changed from the contract documents will be as a result of an addenda being issued and not stated within this meeting. So at this time, do we have any questions?
There are no questions in the chat right now, Patty.
Thank you, James, as I was navigating to that. All right. And it seems like we have answered or done a good presentation here. So if there are, does any of our team members want to add anything to what was spoken here in the technical review aspect?
No, Patty, this is Ray. Just wanted to thank Forest Preserve District of Cook County for the continued partnership, and wanted to thank our design team for all their work and diligence in preparing these documents. So thank you, everybody.
Okay, great. So at this time, this concludes the pre-bid and technical review for the Forest Preserve Restroom Rehabilitation District wide Bussy Woods and Dan Ryan Woods project. Thank you for joining us.